If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here on what is going to be another fantastic Friday. We're going to start things off with our friends from the Agriculture Society and do the live raffle draw right here on Radio Cayman. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. And have the excellent company, both of Mr. Chuck Thompson, the first Vice President of the Cayman Agriculture Society, and a gentleman, not only in his vein as a former police officer, as an avid farmer, but that's a wonderful gentleman, Mr. Lazarus Morias, joining us equally. And I'm grateful that we can continue a partnership here at Radio Cayman with the Agriculture Society, promoting not just the benefits to the country, to the economy, but to the individual health and well-being, of each and all of us of farming, whether it's a commercial, whether it's the backyard, to complement, the income or the supplement at the dinner table. And now you let us a chance to sort of witness firsthand a live drawing. I feel like, those things where you see on globally, and they have this big drum. Are they going to draw from there, the winner of the Miss World Universe? I'm not sure. Let's see what happens when that drum is rolled.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson, good afternoon to you, sir.
Afternoon.
Wow. Share with us, man, because I'm excited. I've heard from friends and family alike that the attendance this year was exceptional. From very early, as normal. Everybody goes early, get the plants. But, man, the whole day was just a wonderful, wonderful family environment.
Yes, it was another record-breaking year, I guess. It was over 8,000 plus people attended. The morning, obviously, was the busiest time. Then we had a little rain spell and, people shift up on you a little bit and go, and then back again in the afternoon, right? So it did fill up. The whole part of the day was very enjoyable. And lots more programs were offered this year, and also things to do for the children too. So I think everybody had a good time.
Well, it's excellent. And for those who are joining us, we are not just live on radio, but Ms. Susan has the cameras zoomed in, so you can go to. I was making a joke in FaceTube and whichever, but that YouTube, so they can watch. Actually, literally live drawing. So tell us. It's a wonderful. Is that handmade, crafted in West Bay? Is that imported all the way from Kennebec? And that, shuffling and shifting there isn't just my stomach because it's lunchtime. Mr. Thompson, tell us. You've got Lazarus, you've got the thing. Tell us what's going on.
Well, we're here to complete the actual drawing of the raffle tickets that were sold. And, without our sponsors, we have big thanks to Miss Giuliano, Honorable Giuliano O'Connor Conley, and the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports, Agriculture and Lands. Their support, along with Ale Thompson, Wyndham Reef Resort. We've got prizes here as well from Casanova, Vigoro, Growing Beauty Nursery, and Outcast Charters. So we've got 8 total prizes to draw, the grand prize and 7 other prizes coming along. So good luck to all the people who've purchased tickets and helped support agriculture.
All right. So you're going to be drawing in totality. Is the first one the grand prize or the last one?
Grand prize.
The very first ticket drawn
has to be.
Has to be the grand prize. Okay. So not only do you have, as I mentioned at the outset, an avid farmer, a former police officer, but it's Lazarus here. So is he serving like sort of the oversight for the?
He's actually our highest seller of all the books.
Yeah.
So each year we have different people come along and help us out. And for this year, kudos and thanks to him. he's actually helped out by selling the most amount of tickets. So
Wow, congrats, lads.
Thank you very much.
I mean, and that is, well, it's a testament to, I think, to a number of things, including the fact that, well, as we know you, man, a gentleman, a very amenable, but it could be a disarming smile he has. What do you think, lads?
But it takes time and talent, and I have to thank my wife and my son too, who supported me with this. And the children were home, the small ones, but we take a whole day. We basically spend a whole day selling tickets, and I have to thank the Cayman public. The reason I am here because I want to make sure everything is fair and everyone can say it's a good event to participate. And years to come, I will be there, and I'm just support the agriculture in whatever ways I can, because I was given an opportunity to do a little farming, and it turned into something different. Backyard farming, that's something wonderful. Wonderful, I love it. And even the home cooking, I love it.
I see, farming to the table. I like the table part. I like the eating part. But this is an opportunity
you
for
and me both.
Well, Miss Susan says her grandmother would tell us we're not far from food. I can't believe that.
Love you like cooked food.
Love you, I mean, his seasoned pepper. Oh, yes. No, but for the public, to do the drawing here, and the Agriculture Society, easily, half a century on this belt. Yeah, this was the 5th or 3rd, I believe, right? I was reminded. In and out every year, the public's attendance. But now to do the drawing as visually, as what do you say, as publicly transparent as possible. And we do apologize for our stand that the hand that you see, and you're probably attached to the rest of the body that has a face with it. We have to see that face every day here at work, so we apologize now when he comes in to do the draw. You want us to bring him in very soon now, Mr. Thompson?
Well, we can go anytime you're ready.
Okay.
I think the public is waiting.
All right. So Miss Susan, we'll send our colleague in. Do we do an entrance? I mean, because if it was, if it was one of those other staff members, it would be easy. But this gentleman here, perhaps we should have him join us, just in case you're not familiar with him. You want to hear him sometimes. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. My friend and colleague here at work. As we were sharing, we apologize to the viewers, because the listeners are always happy to hear you, but now the viewers got to see you too. So they see me, now they got to see you. It must be rough, man.
Well, yeah. But I don't mind. This is something that's fun, so I don't mind being a part of it,
Yeah. He was excited, John. He was, apparently, we had to give him a sedative early. He was jumping up and down. He gets to do the drawing. Was that true?
No.
No, that's true. That Joel spreading tails.
He has the lucky hand.
All right, so Mr. Paul called, DJ Paul called,
the silver fox.
I thought that wouldn't apply to Red Fox. But that's you. All right, so you're going to help us out to do the drawing. And a particular technique you're going to employ, is it the one hand with the one eye kind of covered? I mean, what technique
I'm actually going to dip my hand in, look away, and swish my hand around. And
in a circular motion?
Yeah. And whatever I catch after about 3 seconds of doing that, that's going to be the...
So who's going to time the 3 seconds? Because we want to make sure the 3 second rule. So are you going to switch hands, or are you just going to have... Cause
just that one hand.
So you're just going to have a one-handed guy and a switch hand, the fella?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just checking.
Make sure it's only one ticket.
Okay.
One ticket, yeah.
Now listen, we for some of you listening,
out of time.
It's going to be fun. And we're truly, all jokes aside, we're glad to be able to assist you in saying to the public, hey, we're grateful to our sponsors, we're grateful to the sellers and for you buying, and this is the most visible, transparent, accountable way that we can do it. Paul, thank you very much. I mean, we joke and jest all the time on air, but thanks for coming on air with us today and laughing. All right, so what I followed was Susan's script, so she's directed. Paul, before we draw, you have to go back up to the makeup lounge to do all this. That's not true. Okay, so she tells you, go ahead. We're going to do the drawing now. So, Mr. Thompson, you do there. Stand up there. Paul, you go do your thing. Mr. Lazarus. All right. For those of you who are hearing that, all jokes aside, that is can I call it a drum? That's a cylindrical tool of sorts. Mr. Thompson has gently, with his left hand, started the rolling. Now, Paul, hands up, please. As you can see, not that really, actually manicured nails. Yes, they're all there. And you know what? I think that much better than the Miss Universe pageantry and stuff, you know. All right, so there it is, all shuffling. Paul has the glasses on, which will assist him to look even cooler. His hand has entered the drum.
This is for the
CI.
How much?
Dollars, 20,000.
20,000. All right, so let me get my hand down in there and stir a bit.
All right, so 30 seconds.
It's about 3
20
seconds.
seconds.
I have a ticket.
10 seconds.
And who shall I? Wow.
Oh, cool. Susan, what? No, just kidding. give it to you want to announce it, Mr. Akal? On
Yes,
the mic?
I'll give it to this gentleman here.
All
That's our winner.
Donovan Ebanks.
Donovan Ebanks.
Sold by Brenda Smelly.
Sold by Brendan Smith. All right. Hey, congratulations. And on behalf of the grand prize winner, we've donated that prize. No, we haven't.
Ticket number 0022.
It's ticket number 0022. All right. And Mr. Carl, I must say, after this, I think you have another career waiting, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, a professional, hand-in drum, retriever.
Yeah.
All right. So the grand prize winner, and we'll do the other one. So
Yep.
Miss Susan says
And the other one?
you look almost as good as the drum, so she wants you closer.
Closer to the
So they
drum,
can tell the difference between who's the drum. No, I just teasing. All right. So you want to draw the other prize now, Mr.
Second
Thompson?
prize.
Yes, we can do that right away.
And this is a drawing for a one-night stay at no, just kidding.
This is the home entertainment package, compliments of A.L. Thompson, which is the next prize.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So again, a 3-second hand insertion. Using the same hand you said.
Yep.
The lucky
Here we
left
go
hand.
again. Just gotta pull these tickets there, and here we go.
All right. His eyes have been averted from the drum. Lazarus just looks on to make sure it's
Got
on.
another one. This is.
All right. Paul
There you go.
Paul retrieves it.
Travis Parsons, ticket number 1253.
Ticket number 1253. Sold by somebody else.
Lazarus.
I knew you were going to say that. Well, I think from what you shared, if there were, 70% of the tickets sold by Lazarus? Or thereabouts? So, pretty good chance. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what the actual count is on who sold which amount of tickets.
About 68.75%.
But, I know he had the most. What was it, 36 books, you said?
Somewhat like that.
Right.
See? All right. Okay, Mr. Carl. In a minute now,
Sorry.
we'll do the
It's back.
second draw has been under our belts. And we are doing live here on Radio Command if you want to watch it. Maybe this is entertaining to you. I'm happy that Paul Akal, DJ Silver Fox, has joined us in assisting the Agriculture Society. So this draw is for...
This is for the staycation at the Wyndham Reef Resort in East End. Thanks you for their sponsorship.
This is our third prize. Well, here you go.
Ticket number 0398, Sheldon Goring. Sold by Alvin Bodden.
3 tickets, 3 separate winners, 3 separate sellers. And Paul Akal is even more excited as the draw goes on. You imagine now, this could be fun, Paul.
It is fun.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I think it's excellent opportunity for us. Now, Miss Susan, we can continue with the drawing, or do we? She wants us to take the break. Okay, but she is one of those avid readers that love the novels with the cliffhangers. So when we come back, what are we going to be drawing for?
The next drawing will be for 2 airline tickets to Miami, compliments of the Agricultural Society. So that will be the next prize up.
Next prize up. All right. Well, maybe you say your prayer, and that could be it. And it could be a trip to China, but we're not going to see that just yet. All right. When we come back, more talk today.
With plans from life, health, property insurance, motor, public liability, and professional liability insurance. Whether you're protecting your family or your business, leave nothing to chance. Understand your options and protect yourself for the future. Speak to your FIS insurance broker agent today, located on Shedden Road by MoneyGram, or call 623-5616.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Radio Cayman News.
Cabinet approves travel restrictions for those who've recently traveled to China. Speaker of the House, the Honorable Makiva Bush, broke his silence about an alleged assault.
The premier stated, quote, "The most important immediate issue is for the speaker to seek the treatment that he references in his statement."
The EU blacklisting of Cayman, which, is hugely disappointing.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you for joining us here. And it's truly a pleasure to partner with the Cayman Islands Agriculture Society. They're doing their live raffle draw. We have the first vice president, Mr. Chuck Thompson. We have, I always think like most of us see him as, former police officer. But I think increasingly, avid farmer, just a wonderful father and husband, Lazarus Marina. So thanks very much for coming on board. And as Mr. Thompson shared, the highest percentage, number of raffle books sold this year for the Agriculture Society. So I guess, in a sense, a reward for you. Sadly, it's to be here when we really came and talk today, but so we go, right?
Thank you.
All right. So we've gone to the next drawing now, Mr. Thompson. You were telling us it's a trip for two via Cayman back to Miami. What was it?
Maybe sitting on the wing. No, no man, not quite first class, but you became man class.
There you go. All right. So this next is two for two. The winner gets two tickets?
2 tickets, right, to Miami.
Okay. All right.
Airline tickets, yes.
And Radio Cayman's own DJ, Silver Fox, Paul Kyle, is doing the drawing.
We just like to, from what we have seen, it seems like the youth are really catching on to the agriculture side. So congrats to our farmers, our members, for passing on the trade to them. Nice to see their interest and what they can actually do, and the excitement and the joy in their face when they're actually seeing the plants grow for the first time, or helping out with any of the farm animals and stuff. So
indeed.
That needs to keep up to make this thing survive.
All right. Well, DJ Silver Fox. All right. He has employed the left-handed technique.
Right.
It goes into the drum, and as he goes into the drum, looking away, selects anything. Okay. So he draws a ticket, gives it to First Vice President Chuck Thompson. The ball is handed off.
This looks to me like ticket number 0789. Congratulations, Naomi Kelly. You have won 2 airline tickets to Miami.
All right.
Sold by Lazarus.
Statistically, Lazarus, I haven't seen at least, one more ticket come out of the bag being sold by you, statistically. But that's only because I was just guessing. So. All right, so we have, how many more? We've done 4 now, Mr. Thompson.
4 more to go.
So if you've done 4 and 4 more to go, how many left? 4, okay. So 4 left as we draw.
This next prize is compliments of Vigoro, for it's a gift of a fruit tree.
Fruit tree.
I don't know what type of fruit tree, but I guess they will tell you when you get there to collect it.
And I wonder if it's bearing already. That'd be nice,
You could check I don't know if it's bearing or have a muffler or.
All right. So, Miss Susan and I were discussing earlier, how to sort of describe the color of this drum. I was saying it was green, but she said no. She thinks it's the other gray. So what color would you say that drum is, DJ Silver Fox?
That's gold.
You sure?
Yeah.
So, but it's not glittering?
No.
All right, so it's a gold drum, not brass colored. Gold?
Tints of brass.
Brass gold color.
Yellow. All right. Okay, Mr. DJ, after the drum has been churned again, he lifts the open cover, inserts his left hand.
This next one I hope it's a good fruit tree, a good bearer and representative of agriculture.
All
right. Here we go.
As usual, he draws it up, gives it to
Matthew
Thompson.
McLaughlin, ticket number 0381.
Huh.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Them McLaughlins are good farmers, you know, so.
The ones from East End? Or
the ones from Cayman.
Well, you see that Mr. Thompson would not be drawn into that. He said he's not only tall, but he's smart as well. No, but all jokes aside, what Lazarus said earlier, the notion that many people, enjoy it, and when they get a chance to even engage into farming, if it's just in the backyard, maybe it's a couple of pepper trees, maybe it's a few lime trees, it's so much fun it is. And if you have children, even much more engaging. Right, Laz?
I have to thank the agriculture for whatever happened, because since I bought my house, my backyard looked like all green, and I'm just, it's a good thing to do. Farming, I think I enjoy it.
Yeah, man.
Because, and it leads you to do something, because it stop watching less TV and stay on phone too. So use your time wisely, and you will get something on your dinner table.
Well, I'm glad that your backyard is green, because I have a friend that says the same thing, but what happened, he spilled some paint, and now all his backyard is green. I don't know. Maybe he has to come talk to you, Laz. All right, so we have another ticket to draw, right, Mr. Thompson?
I hope it's grow paint. Our next ticket is dinner for two at Casanova's.
Casanova's dinner for two.
I know I sell stuff to them too, so they're supporting agriculture.
I buy stuff from them, so thank you. All right, so Paula, DJ Silver Fox draws a ticket. This one's Susan Watson. I don't know.
The winner of this dinner for two, compliments of Casanova, is ticket number 0157 for Robert V. Bodden, sold by Alvin Bodden, and also the previous one was sold by Mr. Alvin as well.
All right. So Robert V. Bodden, V for Victor. Or victory.
Victory.
or V for winner. All right. Come on, what do I have to do here, Mr. Thompson? I want the audience to hear you laugh at roaring chuckle he has, the Chuckmeister. All right, so we get ready to draw another one. Do you need us, Mr. Paul, Carl, to bring in the relief, give you a number?
I got this.
You got this?
You
can make it to the finish line? All right, man.
To the finish line.
All those exercises you've been doing, it's finally paid off. All right, good stuff, huh? So what's this one for now, Mr. Thompson?
This next one is compliments of Growing Beauty Nursery, and it's a potted plant surprise.
Yeah. I see, I'm not going to go there, but it comes with extra fertilizer. There's a surprise.
We'll have to see. Maybe they can talk them into it when they get there.
Okay, Paul. So.
All right, so just turn it one more time, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
All right. And Paul goes back in again.
There you go.
Ticket number 2369. Monty James is the proud owner of this potted plant surprise by Growing Beauty Nursery. And the ticket seller is Mr. Lazarus here.
Statistically, man. All right. So, how many more do we have now to draw?
We're down to the last one.
This is the last one.
And this last one is 2 tickets to Stingray City, and this is compliments of a dear sponsor, Outcast Charters.
Okay. Now, Paul, what do you think? Should we take the drum, hold it up and shake it? Do we take it and toss it in the air? I mean, what sort of technique should we employ? Ms. Susan did an online poll, and listeners and viewers want you to roll the thing this time, to add a little bit of extra flavor to it.
I think I'll probably roll it about 5 times and just take what's at the top.
Just what's at the top?
Yeah, I'm not going to dig down or swish around. I'm just going to take who's right there.
But we were checking an online poll, and what we would want you to do is to put your head inside. And I mean, could you retrieve it like that?
Take it out of my teeth.
All right, so this is the final drawing for the Agricultural Society.
He gave a big spin.
Right, just whoever at the top is going to be the lucky person.
All right, so he goes in. Head first. Right. Okay, put your head. I thought it was
head first.
Yeah.
And that's it. This is our way.
You go back in, drop it down. Let's go.
I gotta do that again.
Yeah.
I grabbed about 3.
All right.
Okay, there you go.
See, you should be looking. All right. Let me see where you're grabbing. All right, so this is the final draw for the Agriculture Society's
and the lucky
raffle
person
draw.
this time is ticket number 1420. And this looks like Crenesis Rodriguez.
Okay.
Does it have a seller on the ticket number on the ticket? So, is it Crenesis or Genesis?
That looks like Crenesis.
Crenesis. Okay, good.
Well, there's a phone number. We'll sell out information to the informatics people and
2 tickets to Stingray City. Compliments of Outcast Charters. Thank you so much for purchasing and supporting agriculture.
Yeah, well, thank you all for doing the drawing here, and we're glad that we were able to, allow the schedules, because I think it's important, not just for the fun and not just to support and promote agriculture, but, and you would think for the transparency and accountability, but for us really it was to get Paul Akal in the studio, to be on this side, of the mic. That was just the whole orchestrated move, as you draw near to the mic, Mr. Akal. I mean, this experience for you, is it a lot like walking down the aisle?
What, doing?
It's fun to be on this side, huh? No, seriously, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it feels weird to be on this side of the bike.
Yeah.
In a room with fine gentlemen and
just
getting down to some serious brass tacks. But this was fun.
Yeah, man.
This was fun. And I hope that these 8 winners are all, especially the grand prize winner.
Yeah. Well, we think there were 9 winners. We were actually, we would think there were 9 winners in all, because of the 8 plus you.
Correct, yeah, and the ticket sellers as well.
You see. All right, as Mr. Chuck does you think, Lazarus, any thoughts, not just from this process, but the actual seal, interaction with the potential, prize winners, but the whole idea of farming and gardening. I mean, your perspective. If you don't mind me saying, man, as you know, the soil that you shared has always been the best soil.
People have been asking me what happened to the draw, and it says I've been telling them we'll wait, and the day came, and the draw took place. So I'm just glad that I'm here to witness it, so we can pass on the message to not just the people for asking me, to the whole public in general, because we will print it and we can send it on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So, and the message can be seen anywhere. So next time, we will try our best, and I will request the people who have not brought the book back, just bring the book back so the draw can take place on that same evening. So it goes on as a good landmark for the Agriculture Society that we stay with that same words. The draw is tonight, because when I was telling them, win your 20,000, come on, tonight is your night. And there is still a time, but we will try our best. They'll try our best. Eh?
All right. Mr. Thompson.
Yes, I mean, we will contact all the winners and do arrangements with next week to do the photo shoots, congratulate you properly, and give you your prize collection.
All right.
So we'll be in touch with you early next week, and we thank you all for the participants at the show for making it what it was. We can't do it without people buying booths and bringing their wares and showing the whole island what they have, what they've grown, our members. And if you do want to be a member, just stop by the pavilion down there, speak to our coordinator down there, and she'll get you signed up, and then you can be a benefit of being a member as well and helping out where you can.
For those who are looking, 2 quick questions. The cost of annual membership?
$25.
And just fill out a form? Nothing?
Fill out a form.
Nothing major?
No, nothing major. It has a few questions on there as to what type of farming you do, so we kind of know what sector to put you in, whether it's animals or produce or both or whatever,
right. The only thing easy is getting Cayman status.
There you go. There you go.
No, thanks very much. And looking forward to not just next year's show, but between now and then, partnering with the Agriculture Society, promoting agriculture, food security, talking about the interest in farming, the careers and the like. So, thank you all.
Thank you too.
You're welcome.
And we can't leave without closing and saying, DJ Silver Fox, thank you, man.
Thank you for our able assistant.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome, guys. You're welcome.
All right.
Very much welcome.
Is the hand okay? Do we need to go get it? It looks like
it's all right.
You sure?
Yeah, man. It's good.
Yeah, and you on this afternoon at 3?
Back at 3 o'clock, yeah. For the
so
Super
you'll be
Jams,
able to recover in time.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, he got an hour and 15 minutes, so he should be okay. All right, so listeners, we'll pause, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll share with you, but we also want to invite you because our friends at the Cayman Islands Conference have said they have Renaissance and they're coming up, and we'll share with you with them for a few minutes as well. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Rotary Club Central, in association with the Cayman Islands Health Services Authority, HSA, present Health Check 2020. Free health check, free mini medical consultation, diabetes, hypertension, and much, much more. Saturday, March 7, 10 a.m. through 2 p.m. Nurses, doctors, Rotarians in service to you. The Rotary Health Check 2020 at A.L. Thompson's, Foster's Airport and Countryside, Foster's Republics, and Kamana Bay. Costs you less. And Hurley's Supermarket. You may save your life. Rotary Central Health Check 2020. Your life, your health. Rotary, connecting the world.
You're invited to listen in on Sunday at 3 p.m. on Radio Cayman when you can hear a repeat broadcast of the CI Retro Talk Today presentation, which aired on Friday, February 28th, when we bring you the second in the 3-program series on the path to the Cayman Islands' first constitution in 1959, Cayman Islands politics and governance. This program will focus on the origins and development of political parties in the Cayman Islands, and is being brought to you by the Ministry of Health, Environment, Housing, and Culture. They are always working diligently to protect, promote, and advance the sustainability of our health, environment, housing, culture, history, and heritage, the knowledge of which is important to planning the path forward. That's coming up on Sunday at 3 p.m. on Radio Cayman.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And again, we here at Radio Cayman always enjoy a partnership with the different entities in our community, and in particular, when we have a chance to speak about and to agriculture in particular, it's always encouraging if we could not just look at those who we may say, wow, this is a field for them because their grandmother or because their uncle or whatever the case may be. But as you talk to your parents and your teachers, your siblings, your friends, as you observe the things, you start to appreciate the importance of food science, food security, the importance of things, not just in the sense of what we've seen before. It's not to panic nor alarm people, but the health. Just look at the health and well-being of a society in so many ways. Or look at it simply from the economics. And that comes into play in two immediate perspectives. Maybe, with the proper scaling of the farming, the food items can be cheaper. Not just cheaper to transport, cheaper to farm. Now, we have open line. The phone lines are there. You call and share your thoughts. We'll take your comments equally, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Susan's right there to, as always, to answer your phone calls. But as I was sharing, it isn't just cheaper from that perspective, but the health, the well-being, and hopefully the safety of the consumed, farmed product as well. But then the long-term benefits should also prove cheaper if people are healthier and the healthcare costs are reduced as well. All right, 949-8037. Miss Susan will tell me when we have the calls, and we'll go to the phones and we'll talk to you and have you share your thoughts with us. 949-8037 or 8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261 and share your thoughts with us. Now, the other excellent partnership with the Agriculture Society not just stems from encouraging individuals into agriculture, but to look at it as exhaustively as possible, not just as an exhausting ordeal, but as an exciting adventure, as a rewarding career. The science behind food growing, production, and preparation, to the notion that maybe you can develop a new, much more effective and efficient farming technology. We see when greenhouses were employed and now vertical growing gardens and the like. But what about reducing some of the otherwise amount of waste that ends up after or food is consumed? Is there something that we can look at there, not just to reduce the cost, but to ensure that people are fed? So a lot of opportunities exist for our students when they would be encouraged to consider just the general sort of term of agriculture. It's such a wide, encompassing facet. All right, thanks again. If you were able to, watch the drawing live, it was good fun to have Mr. Thompson in particular on behalf of the Agriculture Society come in and bring the drum and our very own DJ Paul Akal to able to assist with drawing. Now, any of you who've ever had to deal with paper in that sort of capacity, joke aside, you put your hand in there, you're going to get paper cuts, and you'll only feel and complain about them later on when you put your hand in your pocket or your wallet or your handbag or otherwise. You feel the little nicks in when you wash your hands. So it was fun. It was fun to have fun with him and sometimes laugh along. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Likewise, you can, send us your thoughts on our WhatsApp, 925-3261. Congrats again to all of the winners of the raffle draw at the Agriculture Society as they did it here live. And if you maybe want us to see it for yourself for whatever reason, we have the YouTube video. You can watch it then and there. If perhaps you were of a view that, hey, in the future, this could help it to not only increase the sales, this could make it, better in any and every facet, I'm sure that the members of the society would be open to, listening to anything that would be constructive and helpful and assisting them to continue, so that in short order, they'll be celebrating their 100th, agriculture show. Perhaps some of us will be there still, even if we are ourselves, 100 plus or approaching, that central mark, as it were. 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. We will, in a short order, have the opportunity to join Miss Yvette Miles as she, shares with us. We'll do that after the headline news at 1. Some of the things that the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church has, on its calendar coming up very, very shortly, starting this evening and going through, for a few weeks. But we had a chance to chat with her and have her share that with us. And then the 1:30 onwards for the last hour or so, continued discussion. Now I must share that it's encouraging sometimes to hear the number of people, in particular, I say the young people, under 70, engaged and so much informed about the things that happen in here politically, and the opportunity that we've seen, sort of the political machinations as they were, as they unfold in recent times, just here. But given that this also is the election year for the U.S., the presidential race, with everything that is happening, that in and of itself sort of would provide a good opportunity to view and to observe and to participate. For the Cayman context, the notion that we have a strong connection, perhaps maybe more so because of the historical links to the U.S. than perhaps other Caribbean islands, we can watch and see what will transpire. And the movements of our sort of own political parties and potential entrance to the political arena would make it fun. You may have a comment or two to share with us in relation to, well, here's the government and its unified sort of approach. Here is the opposition, and then we have Mr. Bryan, MLA Kenneth Bryan, with his perspective. So why don't we take one call, Ms. Susan? All right, let's do that. Good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon to you, Sterling.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you today?
Yes, fine, thank you. I guess the folks from the society have gone, and the rowing has been done, and I'm so glad we were able to hear that and so forth and get the results, and
yes,
I'm happy for those winners.
Yes, sir.
And it's so good for you to be focusing here on the farming. It's a very difficult, hard choice in life. Do that as your vocation.
Yes, sir.
But it's a great thing, and it's very important, very necessary. The very first thing in humankind was farming. It was our agriculture, I have to say, the animals and plants and so forth. And it is of extreme importance that we move towards being more self-sufficient in Cayman. Even in the time when we say there are thousands and thousands of people, thousands of tourists, and we all know that we wouldn't be able to fully provide or make it a full thing that we are totally self-sufficient. But we can move towards a lot more. And the way to do that, of course, is showing appreciation for the buying the things here, but also we need to place moratoriums. I've talked about this for years on certain items that come in. Every country around us does this. They place moratoriums. It's easy for us to know the amounts of certain things that are very popular and so forth, food kind, that come in here. And to the island, by checking with the customs department, and we have the statistics office, I can't accept the notion that we don't have any statistics on it. I don't at all accept that. We can know, and we can come together and have meetings with the farmers and with the government, of course. And a wonderful lady there as Minister of Agriculture, and we've always had very good people there at the helm as ministers, and to listen on the wonderful people there at the Agricultural Department all the time. So they can last with them, and we can work it out in short order what things we could place moratoriums on. Just say you can bring in so many dozens or hundreds of dozens of this item, and no longer 1,000 dozen, and so forth. And we can do that, and that's, to me, that is the way forward. There must be restrictions on importation of certain things. Yeah, we know we can't produce everything here. I would be bigger than the half idiots that most of us are, like myself, to think so. But we can do it, and I think that is the way forward. In the same way we have said we have to reduce importation of vehicles into the island, wrap it up. We can do this. I don't see any reason why we can't do it. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. I listen on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And as I was listening to you, a couple of the comments we're sort of looking at, your sentiments sort of resonate with one of the comments in that when it comes to food security and maybe becoming a little bit more self-sufficient, it may not necessarily be that we can provide everything, but is there some things that we can? hey, maybe it's just seasonal. All right, let's pause and take a break. When we come back, will you join us for about half an hour or so? And then 1:30 onwards, we'll have some more open line. So please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.
Generations present. Your voice, your choice. For today's biggest news.
Access.
Local, regional, international, this is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team.
Today's biggest news.
As of Monday, the West Bay Police Station will be under construction. The West Bay Station will be closed until further notice and relocated to the Regatta Office Park near Governors Square. The station will now be located on the second floor of the Wynwood 3 building, Unit 210A, off the Esterly Tibbetts Highway. The renovations are expected to take between 6 and 8 weeks. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, gunmen have killed more than 30 people during a ceremony attended by top Afghan politicians in Kabul. The country's chief executive, Abdullah, escaped unharmed, but dozens of others were wounded. The Islamic State group has claimed responsibility. It targeted the same event, which commemorates the death of an Afghan Shia leader in 2019. And a 27-year-old Ukrainian chess champion and his girlfriend, 18, have been found dead in their Moscow flat, apparently poisoned by laughing gas. Media reports say Stanislav Bogdanovich and Alexandra Vernigora, also a top chess player, were found with balloons containing the gas. Nitrous gas is inhaled using a balloon. Russian investigators reported the deaths without naming the pair and said there were no signs of foul play. Bogdanovich was a speed chess champion. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Start getting your debt under control with a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank. At Fidelity, your loan decision is quick with no runaround. Plus, with competitive interest rates and fees, we will help you reduce your monthly payments and get you back to living again. Don't let the burden of overwhelming debt tie you down this year. Call Fidelity today and let's make it happen with a Fidelity Bank debt consolidation loan. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Imagine if we all practice safe driving. Imagine if we all refuse single-use plastic. Imagine if we all turned off lights when not in use. We can all do our part in making our Cayman Islands safer, cleaner, and greener. Together, we can achieve. Visit gov.ky/safer, cleaner, greener to learn more.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you for joining us, and it's a pleasure. As we mentioned, we're going to have an opportunity now to share, perhaps from my perspective, in particular with parents. 1:30, we'll have some open line, but what I say, draw close and listen intently. Honored to have in the studio, if I may say, two wonderful people who are representative of a strong family and commitment to Christ. And Miss Yvette Miles, thank you very much, Mom.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right. And very familiar, a very celebrated national voice, but an avid farmer as well. So, to whom much is given, much is required, epitomizing the presence of Mr. Rudy Miles. So good afternoon to you, my
Good
friend.
afternoon, sir. Thank you for having us, and thank you for this opportunity.
Well, it is a pleasure, and I think sometimes we're busy. We were sharing just the other day part of a conversation of people moving the community, and they be sharing. They say, listen, we're so busy. Why are we so busy? Be busy, busy, busy. And increasingly, maybe in the words of George Carlin, we have more time, but less community. And when we think of the technology, the devices that we all have, some must have 2 and 3 of them because we need them in order to function for our jobs, for balancing our lives. But what is it meaning for us, and what is happening? So I like the series that you're going to share with us. So perhaps we voted, Ms. Yvette, we thought not only were you the most astute but you were just best positioned to tell us what. All right, so reclaiming the human soul. Tell us what the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church has in store for us.
Okay, so back in September 2019, we did a soft launch of the program called the Media Mind, Reclaiming the Human Soul in the Digital Dark Age. And not only is it good in terms of challenging us who are Christians, but anyone who uses media can benefit from the program. It really challenges us to re-examine our use of media. Media is awesome. I mean, it has changed how we do things in so many ways. But the question we have to ask ourselves is, are we consuming too much? It's almost like you're thinking about the impact of too much sugars on the body. Yeah. What is the impact of media on our brain? Right? Today we have so much connection telling us that overconsumption of media is one of the causes that we need to look at to see, is this triggering depression? Could it be causing some of the mental issues that we're facing in society? Beyond that, so that touches just about every media user. Beyond that, I guess I started researching media a bit and came across this series because as a parent, I was concerned about how does it really impact my child when they are using media, when you hear them talk about the plasticity of the brain and how it could change so much when they're younger, and the fact that media can affect younger children different than it affects us as adults. And then I came across some really interesting research from this gentleman, Scott Ritzema, who operates a ministry called Belt of Truth Ministries. And the first encounter I had with him was a program called Media on the Brain, which was an eye-opener for me. And then he came out with Media Mind, which was even more stunning. So we decided at the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church back in September to offer that, and we had a lot of interest. So now that the full program is out, we wanted to share the 5-part series, and not only do we want to share it with those who are of our faith, but we want to share it with everyone because we are all media users.
And thank you, Shana. I wanted to ask that, and I certainly want to ensure that I ask it responsibly and respectfully, but I think sometimes, just generally speaking, even those of us that may worship at one place, and I'm going over there, that's a different church.
Exactly.
But when we look at this community, and it may be similar in other communities, sometimes there isn't any available physical space to accommodate any large number of people for a particular topic, conference, or whatever you want to call it, other than the church halls, the church sanctuaries themselves.
Right.
So having something like this, as you shared, no matter whether you go to church or whether you go to this church or that church, media affects us. In cursory preparation for today, I went back to revisit some notes, and I want to be sensitive to it, but also sensible about it. But I realized that even the WHO, the World Health Organization, they have made some preliminary comments about media consumption, for want of a better word. Right. We've seen, I don't want to use the word warnings because I'm told that even that in and of itself has a particular legal connotation. Right. But advisories, perhaps suggestions, good practices from tech companies, from physicians. Hey, maybe take a little break, maybe watch for your eye strain, little things.
Right.
Perhaps, and I want to share this not to belabor it, but to perhaps complement what you were sharing. If you put all that together, so the little breaks that we should take from, avert your eyes, don't look at that screen for so long without moving your eyes, and then watch your neck and this and that. All these little things from different sectors, different professions, and even different physicians who specialize in different areas. I did a list. I just wrote them down, and quickly I got 10 things. Now, 10 things lumped together to me either is indicative of something else, or if you really want to have fun, it's a conspiracy. but it is telling, even if nothing else, on the brain, the plasticity, and the like. Okay, so with all that said and done, with these series, you have the first one tonight?
The first one starts this evening at 7. Mm-hmm. And if you can't make that one, we have another one tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to take a break, and the last weekend in March we will resume again. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be the 27th of March at 7 p.m. We'll have our third session. Okay. The fourth one will be on the 28th of March at 4:30. and we'll close out on April 4th at 4:30.
Okay. And we're going to ask you again, respectful to sort of, well, I have them here, because I like, I like paper. I find I like paper money over coin, Bitcoin included. But anyway, so I like paper because I can see it, I can touch it, and it's real. I know everybody has everything set up. At some point to remind us of the different topics. But what is the series, the presentation is going to be like? What's the format for it?
Well, we unfortunately don't have the actual speaker here because he is in such demand. He's here in a virtual seminar. So
using media again?
It is going to be using media in a positive way.
Yes.
So we can't get away from media. So we have to learn how to use it responsibly. And, I stopped and thought about it a bit when he said, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, their children didn't use media the way we let our children use media. And you have to say, whoa, what am I doing here? Because we think that our kids can have the latest technology and they could stay on it as long as they want, pretty much kind of allowing the technology to babysit them. But are we really doing the best for our children?
Yeah. If as parents, I would ask you to guide me, right? Yeah. So in preparing, because people say, you're just having this conversation. No, for me, everything should have value. Try to add value as best, be of service as best, right? So two things. We see in basic economics consumers and producers. And then we hear this term prosumers, right? Where these are people who are not just consuming, but they're producing. So we should, But then we look at different, for what I would say, I don't want to say countries, but evident in some countries more, but perhaps cultures. In, say, the Western world, we have the latest gadget, whether we can afford it or not, but it's more for entertainment. We're consuming this thing.
Right.
But maybe in other cultures, other countries, this gadget is a way to do something. It's a technology that's being leveraged to assist, and it's not there that you walk blindly by and with.
Right.
Your example of the two gentlemen and their families, well, they're media moguls, they're household names probably globally, yet they were probably disciplined approaches to media consumption in the household. So why are we, Mr. Myers? Another medium.
I think one of the things that they recognize as producers of the same media that so many of us consume is that it has some detrimental aspects of it as well. There are fantastic benefits to it, but anything in excess can create a challenge. And we find that, especially when we're using media or encourage our younger children to use media, it creates an environment where you may have be developing attention deficit disorder. You may be developing other issues that cause them to lose the level of concentration that we would like them to have. And I think these persons that you speak of, and I'm not sure whether we have a clip that alludes to that, but they recognize that there are challenges, and if they didn't want their children engaged in it until they were in their mid or upper teens, then maybe that's a lesson for us to take from that.
And I think too, and I keep saying parents because unfortunately we may say and don't recognize that we subscribe to, do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
Right?
True.
And we don't see that. So at the dinner table, we're busy. Honestly, our job is important. Our children recognize that. But that device clicks, beeps, burps, whatever it does, we jump to it, right? The child does the same.
Yes.
And it's there, it's accepted part. Now we might decide, but let's put it in the basket for 15 minutes. But how are you fidgeting in that 15 minutes?
You're experiencing challenges similar to that of someone who's on drugs.
Withdrawal.
You have become you become virtually addicted to it. For example, we do our morning devotions, and inevitably, early some mornings you may get a call or a text or something like that, and you have to make a conscious decision that no, I am focused on the communication, our family communication between ourselves and God, and we're not going to let anything else interfere in that. And it is critical. In churches, we see the same thing. We have a lot of people who they're on their WhatsApp and they're receiving messages, sending messages, looking at videos instead of focusing on the message itself. Yes.
So I won't embarrass him, but I called a friend to ask something, and he asked what was on, and I told him the show. And this party said, well, share this. We know those of us who either work in certain areas, who perhaps are fishermen and the like, we buy little gadgets for our phones to protect them. Makes good sense, right? You spend a lot of money, but you also want to be able to use it if it drops into water.
Right.
Now, he doesn't do that. I won't say what he does, but he doesn't go around water like that. He said he bought one of these gadgets and gizmos and put on his phone so that when he's in the shower, now he gave him permission, when he's in the shower, he could have his phone, right? Not to video him, but in the event that it needed. He became that. To the point where we did a little challenge some time back. Could we, as a small group, step away from the phone for however long? Some were very, very, they were macho and masculine. They can step away that for hours, for the whole day. They lasted maybe, 30 seconds. Right? But it is, I still have to share that we are addicted to this and don't even realize the withdrawal that we get, right? So you can imagine, he said, share this. He's going into a shower after a long day. The phone is on the bathroom counter, on the nightstand. It's not far away. You're not going to be in the shower for days.
And you have caller ID. You know who called.
When the call comes in, if you're expecting an important call, it's probably going to come in within this timeline. Maybe your shower is important. Maybe you can wait. But you imagine that you want it. Now, I said to him, okay, so you're in the shower and the call came in. What are you going to do? Answer it? He said, well, no, I'm in the shower. Okay, so what are you going to do? You could leave it on the bar corner so you can hear it and then you can rush yourself up. You can set the ring and the ding to notify you, right? But no, we want that thing physically present. Now, there's some other things going there as well that you worry about tracking. But I want to start to say how we've become so connected to this thing.
An interesting bit of what...
Can I replace connected with addicted?
Addicted, yes.
Okay, that's your word, okay.
This program is really interesting. I can't begin to try and share with the audience all of the different things that are said. You just need to be there. Again, if you missed it, we are starting this evening at 7 p.m. It's called the Media Mind. We're at the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is right next door to the HSA. So if we're right on Smith Road, that round building, pink and cream, next to the Health Services Authority or the main government hospital.
With a four-way stop. Yeah,
yes. You can find us there. So we're there this evening at 7 p.m., tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. This evening is a general session that is going to address all of us as media users. Tomorrow afternoon at 4:30, however, is especially beneficial to persons with young children.
Okay.
Or children generally.
So this evening, I look at my flyer they gave me. Thank you for sharing with me.
Sure.
It says this evening, 7 o'clock, how to be human again.
Yes.
All right, okay.
We've become part tech, it seems. and I say that because one of the interesting things they came up with was a study where they actually hooked up persons to see how they responded to their phones. And the kind of chemical responses they were getting is similar to when you're in love with someone.
The dopamine, and it's amazing. And we even see studies that indicate that they have found that the algorithms, to deploy so that you use and engage with your device.
Yes.
Now, this is science at work too. I want to say hook you. But maybe I shouldn't say it. But that's what it is.
It is. It is.
And flick it this way versus that way. So they're using it. So be mindful of it. Nobody's saying not to, but can you consciously do it? Is it affecting your sleep? Is it causing your personal relations to... when was the last time you sat down and played a good game of dominoes or cards?
Right.
But now we're doing it online. You ever try to slam down a domino because you got a key card online? We got friends who play dominoes. A game of dominoes is a 4 them playing. I thought, but who knew that you slap down the winning key card? That's a different story. All right, but let me ask. So we're starting at 7 now. How long? Because people say, church, how can I be there till midnight? how long is this thing going on for?
Well, we start at 7 this evening. We aim to be finished by about 8:30, 8:45, somewhere in that region.
And then tomorrow, 4:30, again, it's a disconnected childhood.
Yes, it's the disconnected childhood tomorrow afternoon, and we are starting at 4:30. We have it's part of our Adventist Youth Ministries program, so we're going to have a little preliminary happening.
Come on? Oh, okay.
Right, AY come on, and then so you're going to see our young people in action talking about tech as well, or introducing the program to you, and then the program itself happens afterwards. We're going to be encouraging you, if you are available, to stay and connect with us for a brief moment.
Right.
And refreshments.
With some refreshments.
Casal cornbread.
We're keeping it healthy.
No, I know. And listen, if it wasn't that you were good friends, if you were my sisters, right, who are, don't hold it against me, they advance as well. I say, where's the turtle meat? I won't do that. I won't do that to you. We have some. But that's the beautiful part that we can fellowship, we can laugh. But
absolutely,
the idea that, as I said at the outset, we need to be able to ensure that we provide the venue so that we have these conversations, because many times, even as my friend, perhaps I did not do his story justice, but this is a responsible individual with a very important job, as I think it is, who is a wonderful guy, and who said, do you realize that I'm addicted to this thing? Yep. I need this thing in order to make sure that I provide a livelihood, pay the bills and standard of thing, but I can't even go take a shower without making sure that mentally that phone is within
nearby.
Reach.
Yes.
Right? And you're going to shower. Sometimes we buy these steam showers because we have the affluence and they're supposed to be good for you. But what are you doing to your body because you constantly have this thing in your hand, scrolling it?
True.
Is it creating some health issues with your hand, with your eyes? The knock-on effect, right? And all sorts of
one good indicator of how addicted most of us have become. For many of us, the last thing we do at night is check that phone. The first thing we do in the morning is check the phone also.
Yeah.
And, what happens if we forgot that phone at home when we leave in the morning to go to work? We're like a fish out of water for the whole day, trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I do now? And many of us, you're going back home to get it, regardless of how long it takes.
Respectfully, as a man, you remember when you forgot your belt, you go back, or you forgot your wallet. Nowadays, we got people who will belt wallets, okay, but the phone needs to be in hand, because the phone is, it's money in some cases, but it's also, usable in everything else.
True.
The wallet doesn't matter because I don't need the ID or the money. I got it on my phone.
Well, one other indicator is the fact that we used to be able to retain numbers in our minds. What is Sterling's telephone number? You could rattle it off.
It's 949-803.
Now the problem is, if we don't have the device that has it stored, we have a challenge trying to remember it. And that's just one more indicator of how dependent we've become on these.
And as Ms. Susan referenced a comment off air, look at her fingerprints.
Yes.
Just the pads of our fingers, the use and overuse on that thing, because we're doing that thing with it all the time.
Yes.
No longer is it. But there are a couple others that you have coming up too. Mrs. You share with us on the 27th, antisocial behavior.
Antisocial media.
Use the paper.
Okay. Antisocial media is the one on the 27th. That's going to be at 7 p.m. How our social media is actually making us antisocial. We say we have all these friends, but we're not really connecting to them. It causes our relationships to become superficial if we are not careful.
Who's surely going to cry on?
Exactly.
I just
but that becomes necessary in life, Yeah. So our children especially, how is that impacting them? And how can we guide them to develop healthy relationships where they can integrate what needs to be integrated properly and have proper controls, or is this even possible? And digital pharmacia, talking about how some of these things were deliberately done. And some of the guys who helped to do it are actually going around now apologizing and saying, we wish we never did this.
Didn't realize what the consequence
was? Because we are
was?
tearing apart the fabric of society in a way, the social fabric of society in a way that we never intended.
Yeah, man. It's amazing. And then you got to...
And I guess on April 4th, so March 28th was the digital pharmacia. That's a 4:30 program. April 4th at 4:30, we're looking particularly for the Christian community. If you're finding yourself saying, why don't I have any interest in the Bible anymore? And I used to be so interested. This is a good one, talking about how overuse of social media can kill your interest in spiritual things.
Well, great respect to both of you. I deliberately, but not only because me on a personal level, I don't mean to offend anybody, environmentalists or otherwise. I do recognize that there are many times I don't need the paper because I have the digital copy.
Yes.
But I like the paper, all right? And it's knowing what the last sort of installation in the series is there are some of us who will not read anything unless it's in a paper format.
Yes.
Right?
True.
We're bibliophiles, is that what I mean? We're like, without question. And then there's some of us. So I reached out to two other friends. One is, retired educator, grandparent, great-grandparent, or whichever. Digital savvy like you would not believe, has a small little thin thing that's so wide that has like 50 million books on it, and will never pick up a book again, because how can I carry around 5 books? It's just I'm now approaching 150 years old, and I don't have time for that because I need to lug my snorkel gear. So understanding that that's the way the world is, right?
Right.
But the people, and I say that to ask, when it comes to the Bible, we have the app, and we can turn it, and you can read it for us. But the pages of the Bible leaf are thin, but yet they don't tear as well. One ego.
Yes.
Something different about it. There's a feel, there's a texture, there's a smell. Now, before we go to the phones, Mr. Miles, would you want to weigh in a comment, or are we just doing a caller?
Listen, there's no substitution for that paper Bible. I mean, yeah. The convenience, you're sitting on a plane, for example. Yes, it's convenient to be able to use your media device to do so. But to be able to sit and have some private time with that Bible and be able to go through that, it's just a different feel altogether.
So
you
true.
feel as though you're absorbing something from it, and it's giving you some sort of additional spiritual stimuli.
So I appreciate that answer, but my friend said the reason why he likes the actual physical Bible, because he can wave it at you. The phone doesn't do the same. Bro, you ain't sin no more. Let's go to the phones. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. How are you today?
I am very enthused about the topics that are being discussed and the very knowledgeable people, your guests,
Yes,
who
sir.
are involved. It's so important because, as you refer to, the interruption of devices regarding hard-copied paper Bible, paper newspaper. While we know that devices will be replacing quite a few of these older instruments, traditional instruments, there's a sentimentality that's associated with a book that I have in my possession from the 1800s that's been handed down in my family. There's an ethos that surrounds that book. There is a family DNA.
So is that the book you're going to bring across to me? You've been promising to pass on to me?
Not quite. But truth is, no device can replicate the sentimentality of handing that book to another next generation and letting them know the story behind this book, where it has been, what it has done to assist in helping, how many it has assisted, and the fact that so many great hands in your family lineage have touched that book means a lot in the mind of a child, who then starts to imagine a lot about that family lineage in a way that they would never engage about who they are and where they have come from if they're holding a device. Devices are conveniences, but they are convenient interrupters.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Hey, thank you very much, sir. And as usual, anything else you want to share with us?
Yes, I would like to comment. I would like to commend the very, very busy subjects and guests who are there, knowing that they are loaded with a lot of information, and I'd like to invite the community to take part in it.
Yeah, man.
Thank
you. Thank you very much. And as that caller shared, my thoughts, us as parents, but come along with our children, because this thing sadly could become the next global health concern in so many ways.
It certainly can.
The other comment, the other comment that my friend asked to share is that you don't realize how it's dividing families, spouses, parents with their children. They're still there. They see each other, but
the connection.
They're no longer connected. And in time, it's so easy. You develop different interests. You don't have to imagine how quickly that could become so destructive, So
very true.
One more. Oh, I was just sorry, Miss Susan. I was either thinking, she said, "We got a call," or "Do you want the cassava cake?" Yes, I do. Always do. No, I got taste for oxtail and lima beans, so we'll do that tomorrow. No, listen, maybe people will remember in the day. Like the caller, I genuinely appreciate your willingness to help to facilitate this for your church, offering up the venue. Hopefully, as a public, we'll be able to, avail ourselves of the opportunity and to do it. So it's a DVD sort of video presentation,
Right, it's gonna be a video presentation.
some opportunity to fellowship, but also to maybe interact and ask questions and to share with each other, because I'm sure nobody will encounter something that is only peculiar to them.
Quite true.
Exactly.
What else would you want to share with us, Ms. Yvette?
So as we are about to close the session, for those of you who are just joining us, we are at the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church this evening presenting a special DVD series entitled Reclaiming the Human Soul in the Digital Dark Age. It's presented by author, speaker, and teacher Scott Ritzimer. He will not be here with us physically, but we will be using media in a positive way to bring you this information. So this evening, 6th of March at 7 p.m., How to Be Human Again. This is for all media users, challenging us to reevaluate how we use media and to be responsible. On March 7th, tomorrow at 4:30 p.m., The Disconnected Childhood, especially if you're a parent of a child, you need to be there if your child is exposed to media, especially if they're particularly young. And if they can't seem to put down those smart devices, you need to come to this session to see what is happening in their brain really, and how do we need to guide them? How do we need to work with them to ensure that they're more responsible in their use of media? And we're going to take a break until March 27th. At 7 p.m. again, we'll have Antisocial Media talking about how social media is actually not that social after all. And on March 28th, Digital Pharmacia, looking at the impact this have on us. As a matter of fact, some of the video game makers will be there talking about how they're so sorry they did this and that it has become like digital heroin to the brains of our children. Yeah. And then we'll close out on April 4th at 4:30 with the title People of the Book in the Age of the App, particularly for Christians and anyone really. But Christians who are saying, why don't I have the interest I used to have in reading my Bible? Yeah, this is a very, very good session to help you evaluate that some more.
Well, thank you. And it is, as you share, an opportunity for us as a public, especially as parents, to start to engage our children and to realize how more than likely we bought these devices.
Yes.
And they're not bad in and of themselves. Well, hopefully not. But what about us, the individual, that responsible adult? How much time will we have for ourselves for our social engagement? Well, we blame the young people, but maybe we're not
that much better.
Yep. Mr. Miles.
Well, I'm just I just want to comment that media has its good and its bad, and there are so many ways in which we can use it for good. Right now, we are using it in a very positive way, and one of the things that we find happening in the morning, if we don't get a chance to do our devotions before leaving, we may be caught in traffic. And we do something called drive time devotions. And, it's just, that isn't a good way of using media. But, we encourage people to come out, hear about the media, the pitfalls that exist, and how we can also improve the way in which we live and interact with each other.
Cool. So when we do our drive time devotions, we play a song, Jesus Take the Wheel.
Yes.
Oh, man. No, but again, it just shows you how busy we are. Yes. So that family, sometimes we drive separately, but for that one day a week, we may commute together so that we can do the family devotion. There's so many things that we can do when we're conscious of it, but being conscious of it means that we start to be very proactive. So thank you very much for taking the charge, Ms. Miles.
And we want to
thank you for having us so much.
Yes.
Always. This is, I think, beneficial to the wider community, and it helps our families be healthier because it helps our parents to be at least cognizant of the things that we're doing, and sometimes unconsciously, unaware of what is happening. So report back to us again. Let us know more.
All right. Thank you once again.
Have a blessed weekend.
So all right. Blessed you too.
The Media Mind. We'll talk about it now and again between now and the show ends, and certainly coming up. But when we come back, join us after the talk today. And if you got cassava cake, Susan will sample it. And if it's good, she'll share it. No, if it's good, she'll probably keep it all. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Have you lost your mojo? Find it again at Mojo's in Central Terrace, Bayshore Mall, on the waterfront. Happy hour specials 5 to 10 p.m. every night. Free pool every night. Free parking every night. Food, happy hour, and stunning ocean views. Find your mojo at Mojo in Central Terrace. Central Terrace is home to Mojo, Cayman Creperie, and Lucky Slice Pizza.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
Puritan Cleaners, serving the Cayman Islands for over 60 years. Now offering 12% off ladies and gents wearing apparel, $20 and up prepaid, or 10% off pickup within 7 days. All household items standard 10% off prepaid. This offer good at all our stores until further notice. Savannah Countryside, Elgin Avenue, Georgetown, Eastern Avenue, Georgetown, 949-7104. Drive through, rain or shine. A great special. You feel good when you look good.
Hi, I am Dr. Lee, Chief Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health. The Ministry and the Department of Public Health, along with our partners, are working hard to help protect residents from the novel coronavirus. Did you know the best way to help prevent infection is to avoid being exposed? So please, wash your hands frequently with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based sanitizer. Cover your noses and mouths when coughing or sneezing. And as best as possible, keep a good distance or avoid contact with anyone with symptoms of a respiratory infection. To read more about the public health's updates, please visit hsa.ky.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you for joining us. Well, if you happen to be watching us on YouTube, and for that I apologize, you got to see just me. But hey, if that means that it gives us an opportunity to be more engaged, more involved, better informed, better positioned to comment on what is unfolding in our society, even if it's not said sometimes in the most positive, constructive way, I'm sure if we listen with the positive and constructive sort of mindset, we can get something from it. So it's open line. Who is going to be the first caller? And we would like, if Miss Susan doesn't say no, because she always says yes, we're going to give this first caller or the third caller a $25 gift certificate to Reflections. Okay, so she either says the third caller or the third caller. No, we can't have it. Territories in the house today. Okay, to the third caller, you'll get a $25 gift certificate. Right, so somebody got to start the game. 949-8037, or toll free with the compliments of flow. 1-800-534-TALK. That's 1-800-534-8255. And with the kind compliments of Reflections, it'll be usable in all of their locations and all of their stores. $25 gift certificate. So we'll go to the phones and say hello to whoever's calling. And I'll have some fun, you'll have some fun, and we'll all feel blessed. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Hey, good afternoon, welcome, thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, how are you doing today?
Blessed and thankful. How about yourself?
Yeah, blessed and thankful too, man.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, if you don't mind me saying, when I see you even in the supermarket or from a distance, you have a presence of a man with a purpose but with a positive spirit. So just shaking your hand sometimes, you know. And watching you get out of the car the other day, I thought, man, we make some good people here. You know, I would say get a bigger car because you were 6'4", that frame that you got there.
Yeah, well, I do need a bigger car, but I need a bigger paycheck too.
You know what? I can probably talk to them people that got you employed. They're pretty good.
That's it. There we go. Now.
There you go, man. But thank you for starting the ball off. All right. And we can have some more gift certificates. But before you go, any thoughts you want to share with us?
Yeah, actually I do. I have heard these little segments, these commercials from the AML, and it bothers me.
Yeah.
It really does, because they are very, how should I put it?
Just put it straight up. Put it straight up, man.
Very, very direct, and what they're saying is not exactly true.
Huh.
Or at least it's not easily understood.
Yeah.
Right? Because what they're saying is, like, for instance, they say, what are some signs of money laundering or whatever, or criminal financing? And one of them is the nice lady who's asking for a donation can't give you the number of the MPO.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they're criminal. I mean, what if she doesn't know it, really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe she can go back and get it or whatever, but...
Yeah.
And they're saying that is a sign. No, what they should be using is language like, these could be signs.
Yeah.
But they're saying it is a sign.
Yeah.
You know?
I like
that.
Mm-hmm. Well, for what it's worth, then, thank you for having the courage. I don't mean to speak ill, but you're the first one that I have spoken to the public on air. All right, we've had callers for the record, so increasingly, but for the record, there have been a lot of people who have off air, in person, on the telephone call say, man, we're not opposed to the ads, but just like you sharing, is there a better way to word the ads so that we don't demean whether we mean to or not. At the very least, we should be aware of the potential that this could be how it's interpreted. Good comments, man.
Another one they talk about a business that has very few customers but remains open. I mean, a lot of small businesses start out that way, and they for 2 years they struggle, and then finally get their stride, especially things like restaurants or stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the 2 years they're struggling. That basically is saying that they are money launderers.
Yeah, man. And there's another ad too about Cayman being this is on Radio Cayman's ads, right? The most expensive destination in the world or country or whatever it is, right? And what is good is that's showing that people listen, but more importantly, they're starting to act on it. Because before they would, and I say this part in jest, but partly because it's reflective. We beat up our gums in private, but we don't say it in public, right? But more and more are starting to say, hey, wait a minute, let's challenge these things. So I appreciate you doing this start for us, sir.
All right, well, thank you too, man.
Thank you, and play along with us, man. We'll have some prizes and surprises. Who knows? All right, all the best to you, my friend.
All right, thanks. You too.
You're welcome. All right, we got one more call, Miss Susan. All right, good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon. How are you all today?
Very well. How about yourself?
Good. I want to change the topic a little bit.
Of course.
A couple of weeks back, there was a festival of art at the Harquail bypass, and I think at the Harquail, and I think it was like 10 primary schools down there in the morning, and the air condition wasn't working, and those poor children, they were like baking, perspiring. Can you tell me when they're going to get the air condition fixed? If they knew that the air condition wasn't working, couldn't they find someplace else to have had that for the kids? There was 10 primary schools there. And, at that time in the morning, and the school, the Harquail is packed. Couldn't they do something? It was so sad to see some of the children were just perspiring. And, that time in the morning, and the kids are just like starting the day. Wouldn't you want to have your children comfortable?
I appreciate you sharing. Someone else had equally talked about the same facility. There was another function there one evening, and unfortunately the air conditioning seemed to have been out of service as well. So maybe we can gently call and inquire, but they have able management there, so I'm sure.
Not exactly. So that's why I'm calling, because I know it has it has a lot of money that's being generated when they have these functions, and you can do a payment plan or something to get the children comfortable. I mean, you know, if you're going to have like 10 primary schools there, why would you not try to have the air condition working to accommodate those poor kids? And then another thing, the passport office on Walker's Road. I have been there on many occasions, and that place is crammed, jam-packed. I feel sorry for the poor people that are behind the counter. And I know they're government staff, and I know they really can't voice their opinion, but I would suggest sometime that instead of the place being so crowded in case anything happens in there, that, you know, pick up your police record, let them check the paperwork, do what they have to do, send someone. It's easier to send even an officer to the Bordentown substation, the West Bay substation, and let them sign for their police records. I mean, how easy is that? The poor people that are coming from East End, they have to catch the bus, they have to pay a taxi, they get off in town, they have to get another ride into Walker's Road. Those poor senior citizens, they have a line saying over 60. There's no one by the window for over 60. Everyone is just standing in the line. And the thing is, you know, right now, people have to walk up the steps. That office needs to be downstairs because they're senior citizens that cannot even go up on the stairs. And I am so sick and tired of opening my mouth every time I go in there. You have to be, you know. And I keep telling the ladies, I say, listen, I'm going to go and put this on the radio because I say we need some action. And I mean, it's very sad that people, the older ones, have to walk up there. And if you can't walk, then you have to have a GP to sign your form or something. I mean, how, you know, I don't understand why people like us that don't have a college degree, a simple thing can be fixed without even having a college degree. It only takes common sense. It only takes common sense. And I mean, you're going to pay a passage from East End to come to town, to pay another bus fare to get from town to Walker's Road. Then you have to wait for 3-4 hours before you even get your police record or you collect one. I mean, how ridiculous this can get. And every day the place is crammed. You know, you can't even breathe properly. I said to the officer the other day, I said, are we going to get some help? He's trying. You know what he did? Came in and moved a chair from the by the corner and put it by the door so someone could sit down. I mean, you know, we need some action. I don't know, you know what? All the MLAs need to go up there and sit down and see what's happening because I don't know where they are when things like this happen, but they need to see what is happening. So if we don't put it on the radio so they can hear, something has to be done, definitely. So I'm glad you can listen to what I had to say, and you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, and I trust that as people listen to you, they understand the passion for the country to move forward in the most positive, productive way. So thank you for, you know, the courage, but also the willingness to be a part of, you know, making us a healthier, much more sobering society. Thanks very much, Mom. This is where we are as a people. We invite you to call and share your thoughts with us. So we have a gift certificate for Reflections you can use in all and any of their stores for $25. Just for, you know what, it's Friday. Just in partnership with our, you know, wonderful business community and with the excellent management and staff over at Reflections. And we say, hey, here's $25. Who couldn't use $25? Well, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Get ready, gamers, for 6 weeks of non-stop competitive action. The Cayman Islands Esports Association is proud to announce the first ever FIFA E-League. Starting February 1st. Compete for the gold on FIFA 20 for the PS4 every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Bordentown Civic Center. Sign up today at CaymanEsports.org. Competitor fee is just $75 and includes your own jersey and swag bag. Spectators are free, so come out and enjoy the world of esports. Proudly sponsored by Gamers Bay, NetGeeks Media, CUC, Kimpton Seafire, and the Cayman Islands Youth Services Unit.
The FIFA E-League is also sponsored by Radio Cayman.
2020 means perfect vision, and if you have your sights set on driving a new hybrid, then the time is now to check out the new RAV4 and CHR.
Hold up.
Just two of the many hybrid models that Vamped is bringing to Cayman. Whether you're looking for a smoother and quieter way of driving or want a car that maximizes fuel efficiency while minimizing emissions, there are lots of ways a new hybrid from Vamped can make the difference in your life. hybrid safe fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries without being plugged in. So focus your 2020 vision on a new hybrid from Vamped Motors, and we will see you through. Come to Vamped, home of the hybrid, located on Walkers Road. Preventing dengue is as simple as preventing mosquito bites. Use a mosquito repellent, wear protective clothing, and stay indoors during early dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Control the places around you where mosquitoes breed. Remove stagnant water in outdoor and household settings. As a weekly habit, persons should change the water in vases, clear the water in saucers under potted plants, and ensure air conditioner drip trays are free of stagnant water. Outdoor objects capable of holding water should be kept empty and preferably disposed of or put into dry storage if not used. These include open bottles and tins, watering cans, buckets, empty paint tins, and old vehicle tires. Do your part to control the spread of dengue. The dengue virus is an infectious disease transmitted through mosquito bites. Symptoms may come on as early as 4 days or as late as 3 weeks following an infection. There is no vaccine or specific medication to treat dengue. Symptoms of dengue include high fever, headache, pain behind the eyes, joint and muscle pain, and rash. If persons have any of these symptoms, they should go to the nearest health center or hospital. It is advised to drink lots of liquids and avoid medication that contains aspirin.
Your loose change may not seem like much right now, but we know that it does add up to a lot once we put it all together. Last year, the Meals on Wheels Change for Change coin drive raised enough to provide over 6,000 nutritious hot meals to some of the most vulnerable members of our country, our seniors. We seek your generous donations once again as we aim to continue to serve over 50,000 meals per year. Please gather up your loose change, empty your coin jar, or whatever amount you can afford to donate when you see Meals on Wheels volunteers stationed around Grand Cayman on March 27th and 28th. Join Cayman Islands Meals on Wheels, Davenport Development, and Radio Cayman in the fight to end senior hunger in the Cayman Islands. Visit mealsonwheels.ky to learn more.
You're invited to listen in on Sunday at 3 p.m. on Radio Cayman when you can hear a repeat broadcast of the CI Retro Talk Today presentation, which aired on Friday, February 28th, when we bring you the second in the 3-program series on the path to the Cayman Islands' first constitution in 1959, Cayman Islands politics and governance. This program will focus on the origins and development of political parties in the Cayman Islands, and is being brought to you by the Ministry of Health, Environment, Housing, and Culture. They are always working diligently to protect, promote, and advance the sustainability of our health, environment, housing, culture, history, and heritage, the knowledge of which is important to planning the path forward. That's coming up on Sunday at 3 p.m. on Radio Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us. 949-8837 or 1-800-534-8255. Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. What is on your mind? And we started out very early in the show sharing with you the sentiments expressed by a few individuals who were saying, hey, it's great to see sort of the change in political landscape now as I interpret what was shared. But one or two said, well, wait a minute now. Yeah, we only got 19 people elected in the House. Some of you say, well, that's not that many. Some will say you need more. Others say, well, that's a bit too many. But irrespective, and you're watching the government of national unity coming together to make sure that we not only bring political stability and maturity, but advance so that the policies and the programs and the governance of the country is there. And then you have your organized opposition, and then you have other members. Well, and some of you have become cognizant. MLA Kenneth Bryan is no longer an official part of the official opposition. You recognize that with the particular landscape, the Deputy Speaker of the House has tendered his resignation. There's a call, and there will be, as per our understanding, required 7 signatures of the sitting MLAs to trigger it, which would have to be sort of approved by the Speaker for the House to be assembled to elect a Deputy Speaker, and then perhaps vote on a motion of no confidence in the Speaker. Well, MLA Brian says, hey, not at this time, I'm not going to go there. So 6 of the 7 and 1 extra before it's necessary. Now, your perspective, we've elected them and they're about governing the country. What do you think? Very grateful for our great political commentary that we have in the morning with our morning show For the Record, and not just under the great sort of tutelage of the wonderful host, Mr. O.C., but his guests equally, and from the callers who share in their perspective. But for a maturing democracy, is this now, as someone said, hey, this is why we need to be independent? If it is, what, if anything, would be the benefits in this case if we were an independent nation? Is it, as one or two have said to me, this is why our Constitution needs to be constantly under review, updated, and in making sure those revisions provide not just greater authority for the elected, but greater, accountability, so that the electorate, the voters, can, when necessary, do certain things without being overly hindered and hampered, in order to trigger, to invite, to at the very least ensure that certain things get a proper opportunity and venue to be ventilated, as it were. One, was this notion of, should the populace be able to recall, otherwise, perhaps remove a sitting member. B, should the populace have a different way in which we elect some of the individuals? Should there be some sort of, and I share this with you because I said to the lady who was giving the opinion that I didn't quite yet fully understand what it was she was sharing, but she says, if you have sort of a people's council, and she referenced the growing practice now that seemingly has become accepted of this caucus. So the sitting government has a body of people who are, in her view, party members, close advisors, and this caucus is not just the elected members, the ministers of a cabinet, the premier and others, but close advisors and perhaps others who have a sort of inside view of what is being considered, presumably for those who have intimate knowledge of the functioning of the caucus, and it hasn't just existed this time around, it was the time before and the time before that. So it's now coming into its own, that you, as a prospective investor or developer, or there's a particular thing that you think the government should consider, you may be granted an audience before this caucus and you make a presentation about something. It could be on environment or education, it could be on health, it could be on infrastructure, it could be a particular proposal to develop something in a certain way, in a certain place. And then perhaps the caucus weighs in on it, deliberates. Now the end decision is perhaps for the government to formalize it where necessary through cabinet or legislation or what have you. But seemingly, from what we understand, the caucus weighs in on this thing, and if you can sway that sort of assembled body, then you may have crossed a significant hurdle, as it were, to getting your thing on the agenda. She said, well, why should it be limited to that caucus? Could we not have some other, duly appointed, or preferably in her mind, elected body, a people's council of sort that serve as some sort of oversight, if nothing else? Perhaps it serves, and she says, not to harken back to the days of the House of Lords, or not to even look at a bicameral system, but if we were, could it be that this thing gives a greater semblance of democracy and participation. Well, if I did not misunderstand what she shared, perhaps you can weigh in on it. We'll pause. We're going to take our headline news break. When we come back, we still want to allow one of our listeners an opportunity for a $25 gift certificate with the kind compliments of Reflections. So who will it be? Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice. For today's biggest news.
Access.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team. Today's biggest news.
Assurances from the Port Authority, with 27 cruise ships set to visit Cayman next week. The acting director of the port stresses that there are many safety procedures in place to prevent a cruise visitor from bringing the novel coronavirus, COVID-19, into Grand Cayman. Joey Wood says the cruise lines themselves have strict policies for boarding, and if an infected person is discovered on board, Cayman authorities will be notified before the ship docks, giving the jurisdiction the opportunity to act. Mr. Wood says it's in the cruise line's best interest to keep their ships disease-free. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. United States President Donald Trump has signed an $8.3 billion emergency bill to combat the coronavirus outbreak. With confirmed cases reaching 213 in addition to 14 deaths, Mr. Trump urged calm, adding, "It'll go away." The White House has faced criticism for its response and has acknowledged the U.S. does not have enough test kits to meet rising demand. Results are being awaited of tests on passengers on board a cruise ship being held off San Francisco in California. And Barbara Martin, an original member of 1960s U.S. pop group The Supremes, has died at the age of 76. The Detroit singer was with the group when they signed to Motown Records in 1961 and sang on most of their first album, Meet the Supremes. The news of her death was confirmed by the band on their Facebook page. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Hi, my name is Tara Bush.
It's all about humanity.
I'm inviting you to train with the Gab Walk and Run Club on Mondays at 5:15 p.m. Start time at 5:30. We train at Government Administration Building on Mondays. Right now, we are training for the Deputy Governor 5K. If you want a supportive atmosphere to grow your health goals, join us on Mondays. We have coaches for every fitness level, advanced runners, walkers, and off the couch to the rest of your life, running programs and walking programs. So join us on Mondays at 5:15 p.m. Government Administration.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you for joining us. It's open line. 949-8037 1-800-534-8255. What's on your mind? Doesn't it feel like Monday's a holiday to you? Doesn't it feel like, for some strange reason, this is a weekend that's going to be a long weekend? Now, is that going to be because it's a long weekend, or is it because it's going to be a long weekend? I don't know, boy. Now, I say that partly just, to relay a sentiment that fella was sharing, that it seems that, we've got 2 months under our belt, as it were, for this year, but it's been a long year. It's been very taxing. And he was sharing, as I quickly took the call during the break, that it's not just because of all that has happened so far, the natural disasters that we've experienced, the challenges to perhaps governance, as it were, on the financial front, the coronavirus that perhaps the World Health agencies and governments are looking at, even on our own shores and the like. But as he quickly shared, where does that leave us as a people to consider? the things that we need to, when we talk about the quality of life, the sustainability of the economy, and the potential future. Is it a healthy, prosperous, successful one, or is it that it's going to be, hard times ahead? Well, where do you see it, and when you look at it, is it that you'll always be able to look through rose-tinted glasses, the notion of half empty versus half full? Or is it that things are changing so rapidly that you're not even able to keep up with it? You don't have time to stop and give any meaningful consideration to what is before us. The minute you were able to respond to something new jumps into the mist. Let's go to our phones. Good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling. How are you?
Very well. How about you?
Oh, not too bad. Sterling, out here, the traffic is, it's 2 o'clock and the traffic is crazy in Error. It's just about Error Street. This is crazy.
Ah, man. Is it because of Friday or just because of the time?
It's the Friday, it's the time, and it's the week, it's everything.
Wow.
It's everything. What I call you for, Sterling, down there at Royal Palms, we give Dart Health for developing this island. I'm one of them. I'm not going to say lie about it.
I thought they gave him concessions, but we gave him hell too. I thought it was owned by government. No, just kidding.
But Sterling,
yes,
why I call it because I'm glad that he's going to put something there at Royal Palms because for the last almost over 10 years going into Royal Palms and has to drive over a pool of dirty water coming from there, either their kitchen, their bar, or where it's coming from, and that has been running there for years, coming into part of the parking lot. Nothing has been done to it, and you drive into this dirty water every day to take visits. After you drop your visitors, and when you pick them up, you got to drive to this water to get back out. You know what? I'm very glad to know that something going to be going there, that will not be a problem in years to come, because if we can't do these things at our home, why are these business places have the privilege to do it and get away with it? It's just like on the waterfront. That building on the corner of Cardinal Avenue, I think it's called, it has a new name now, the 3 floors.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, apparently they got water running from somewhere there too into the sea. And it smells from time to time.
Well,
where is it coming from? Out of their building there? I'm not fully sure, but it's ridiculous to know that it's been going into the Hawkside Bay water there. I don't know if it has been stopped, but about a year or so, people was out there talking about it. Sterling, when we had people come here and tell us that we can't build the cisterns and wells in our yards no more, we got to put deep well now and so forth and so forth. And we got to go with the city water and so forth. I don't know about anybody with city water. I tried drinking that when I first came out. And someone said to me, you know what, you better stop drinking that city water. And I stopped. So I know what I see that does to your appliances and your home and your wall of your property with the what do you call that now? Is that the rust, or is it rust?
Well, it has that kind of rust-looking color, yeah.
Yes. I'm not here bombarding the water companies and so forth.
Not to bash them at all. No,
not to bash them at all. But Sterling, you put a dish towel in your dish, in your drain, in your sink overnight, and just leave it sitting in water. There's water, and next morning you go and you try to wring that rag, and you want to feel a little slime off on that rag. I'm telling you, I got these Gina trays that I get from Kirk. I have to buy them like every 3 to 6 months just to hold up my pots and pans, whatever.
They're rusting out.
How they're rusting. I'm buying those things like 3-4 times per year.
Well, someone told me that even the plastic ones are rusting now.
I wouldn't put on crosses. I'm not here bashing nobody.
No, I hear you.
But to say about Royal Palms and not nasty water down there, I'm glad that something going to be done, because visitors come and ask me what's the purpose of these overhead what they all call a bridge or whatever you want to call them, or
tunnel.
whatever, a tunnel, you know. So I have to tell them that that's why.
Yeah. If I may ask then, is it then that you're as a society, it isn't that it's the development, but could it be the pace of development? Could it be that maybe development is taking place in some places, but equally in such a manner that as a populace, we don't know exactly what is happening until after? Is that maybe part of the challenges that people are facing?
Probably, and the thing with the Sterling, the construction work is booming so rapidly now from East End to West Bay, and we got all these construction guys working, and where the cars are parked on the main roads. You know, planning can come and tell you can't do this and you can't do that, but yet you can give these big jobs and to these, make these investors come and build all these big buildings, but they got no way for their staff to park while they're building these buildings. We, the people of this island, must suffer and punish because we try to make our lives better, but the other ones must get their lives in shape, and we must stay behind in the back like we have been for so many years. We've gone backwards instead of going forward. So
well, how do we
come out here? If planning can come out here and get these guys permission to build these buildings without any space for them guys to park, I don't think it's fair. They should be blocking the main roads to go in and work on this rich man or whoever he is or she is building, and they're collecting a salary, not because they're planning got they pay up front or what the case may be for the what you call it, the planning and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't mean that these guys should be parked on the road to enhance and disenfranchise us from trying to drive properly and all that kind of garbage on the road. You can't be building these. Listen to me, Sterling. You go up on South Church Street, you want to see something, never see view.
Yeah.
There's a disgrace. The building is practically hanging over the road.
But we give planning permissions for those things, right? When I say we, the planning authority, we, the people in the area, we, the wider community. If we, as a people, don't become involved and oppose something or help to support something, then it'll happen or not happen. I mean, isn't that how it is?
That's exactly what's happening because Sterling, many years gone by, they would send out letters to you telling who's going to be building and adding on next door to you. I don't see anything coming in the mail telling me who's adding on, and I see adding on going on from time to time, and nobody sent me a letter in the mail.
Can I ask you something? And not just to you, but I was trying to reflect on a conversation as you were chatting to try to figure out how to not just introduce it to our discussion, because I think it's fitting, but how to do it in a way that maybe speaks to the issue, not so much to what was the thing the person was talking about. So just generally speaking, it would appear that there are some of us who would say and who would accept, don't need to worry about that because that's going to happen because of who and who's involved and where it's happening or whichever, right? So why is it then that we seemingly will turn a blind eye or not even bother getting involved because we believe it's a foregone conclusion because, that's who is behind that thing or that's what that other thing is or whichever, and we leave it be, whether it's, cutting an iron shore to make a pool, whether it's dredging out somewhere to extend something, whether it's making a building in a certain place, whatever that thing is. Because, yes, ma'am.
That is what's wrong with Cayman right now and the people of this island. They got no backbone. They will sit down and discuss it here and there, but will not come out and bring their face forward and say, you know what, this can't be done. This can't happen. We got no backbone.
Okay.
And they say they don't care. They care deep down inside because they're hurting because they don't get a job. Their family don't get a job. Their friends don't get a job. But yet they will not come out and join hands and say, you know what, enough is enough.
But why is that? I mean, what is it going to take?
We are too cowards, Sterling.
But why?
Why? We have been in our comfort zone from day one, and we are afraid to shed our skin because we are afraid that we're going to hurt this one because he's my friend, and we're going to hurt that one because she's my friend. She helps me with this, he helps me with that, and it just goes on, and it just cowards.
So then, as long as
living in poverty.
Okay, so as long as somebody is getting something that they feel is of some value, they're okay with it, even if that's not good. But is it then that we should be looking at the principle of the thing? It doesn't matter if it's benefiting that person or if it's not a legal, ethical, proper, right thing to do, then let's not accept it. I mean, you're saying that we're willing to, as long as it's good for, for whoever's getting a little bit out of the dripping faucet.
Sterling, the principle, we have no principle when it comes to we the people. And we want to know why other people can come here and survive. We Caymanians have no principle towards what we want. And then we sit down and we grudge those that got something. Sterling, when I see people working here in these low-lying jobs and they can drive a fancy car, they can go to the grocery store, they can send money home to their family. And we Caymanians sitting on the corner whining and going down to need assessment and telling them their story, and they want to hear it and what to do for us. They don't know how to do anything for us. They do for what they want to do for us.
There's a thing that I was grappling with. I got someone that sent a message saying, are you going to read this for me and talk about it? So I'll do that after the break. Something that's in the media now. It was in the media some weeks ago. We talked about it, but nobody picked it up. Why is it? So we'll come back to that. But before we do, is there anything else you want to share with us?
Sterling, I have a lot to talk about, but right now, we don't have any backbone, and we have no encouragement of our own. We want people to come and tell us what to do and how to do it and when to do it. We got to stop that. We didn't have that years ago.
Okay. Well,
but
the unity. Yeah. Now, before you go, could we say to you, we said earlier, the third caller, we would give a $25 gift certificate, compliments or reflections. You're the third caller. Miss Susan was counting. Apparently, between the two of us, we could manage to get to 3. Would you be willing to accept that on behalf of the good management and staff at Reflections, to accept the $25 gift certificate for just playing along and being part of what we have to hear? All right? That'll be fine?
I'll accept it. I'll find somebody to buy something and give to somebody.
Thank you. Well, just for formality, Miss Susan's going to take your information. We'll probably sell, your personal details to make some money. No, just kidding. We're not doing it. No, we preserve it. So she'll share it with her privately. And then when you come to the studio, just present the ID so the auditors can check. And it'll be there for you.
Sterling, guess what?
Yes, ma'am.
You know what talking to town is today?
No, tell me.
I got that gift certificate for good attendance. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Stay on the line, okay? Okay, and I think we'll have to take the final break, Ms. Susan. Is that what we're going to do? And then when we come back, perhaps I broach a subject or two with you. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
If your business is over here, but your customers are over here, adding more yellow to your business will bring you both right here. With everyone searching yellows, print, online, and mobile app, getting your business noticed is easier than ever. Book your consultation today at findyellow.com.
The Spring 2020 Labor Force Survey conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office starts on Sunday, March 8th. The Labor Force Survey collects data on employed and unemployed persons. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will visit randomly selected households in all districts. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the statistics law. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from freedom of information. For more details, please call the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
And welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037, 949-6990. Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. Got a few minutes left of the show. You want to call and share your thoughts? Again, special thanks to the management and staff at Reflections for sharing with us so we can share with our listeners. Just a little thank you. And we'll do some more throughout the month. And certainly appreciate so far, being able to, whether it was Pico, Water and Elephant, whether it was Le Classique, Lawrence, Lacastais has been generous. Reflections, likewise. We're just saying, hey, thanks, We also have some breakfast and the like for treats as well that we want to share as the month goes on. Just to say, hey, thanks, for being a part of. Sometimes you just need to show your appreciation to our listeners. Hey, let's go to the phones. Good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today. Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
Hello.
Yes, sir. How are you today?
Yeah.
Welcome back, sir.
I didn't know you're just silent for a while.
Yeah, it's amazing, huh?
Yes. No, you cut off.
Yeah. What it was, I think it was we got some new cord.
Yeah. They're shorting all right.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm glad someone got that prize and so forth. I'm glad that's it. Sterling Green, it's a lot of things are happening, and it's good that people are alert and listening and following up. And that lady, the last caller, often contributes quite a bit.
Yes, sir.
To things, but reality is reality. We have to understand that the water system we depended on for years, that cannot work anymore. We can still have cisterns and all that collecting some water, but it in itself isn't really safe at all. We have a lot of things in the air now. We spray for mosquitoes and different things. And we have asphalt shingles on roofs. That's a very popular thing for the last 50, 60 years. It's a cancerous thing. You don't have to believe me. They can check it out and you'll see asphalt. So we don't know if that's the cause of some of the cancers here in Cayman. A lot of roofs are asphalt shingles over the last 50 years now. So all that needs to be checked into. But it's much better pressure. The water is very, very good because I had it in the job I used to have for several years. I had to have them come in and check the water. They did, best, and the water is excellent. And they compared it to several places, and many people told me about that who know something about water quality and all that. It's very good, and it's the same system they use in South Florida, reverse osmosis, or we won't go into all that technicalities. We only have a few minutes left. It's good for us to be realistic and understand certain things must happen for us to move forward. We have a huge amount of vehicles, and many people, when we say we have to be cognizant of the fact of what we're saying. We, the financial world, is not we. When they say to protect the financial world, and we know who we're talking about. So I would trust that we would separate that from the average, ordinary Cayman, and this is by far the majority, and then even the other people who come here to work also. They are recipients of the trickle-down effect of it, right? Let's put it that way, and we are too, all of us. The same applies in much different way. The tourism and the cruise industries is very vital to us. We see the turmoil they're in. One thing we have to realize is that huge television stations, CNN for one, have always been sort of very, very reticent to accept their philosophy at all. To me, it's very left-wing. I won't go into any more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see that play out. Anybody who is following into politics realizes that. It's a very left-wing organization, and it's powerful. It has the backing of the beautiful Hollywood people, so to speak. Anything liberal, ultra-liberal, far from being conservative and the true American way, will find its way there and has a lot of power with it. And it has a lot to determine what comes out and what goes. Then we can frighten people. We can create pandemonium. And the reality is that many times more people are killed by the normal flu, which is a regular flu everybody knows every year, than the coronavirus or the SARS or the swine flu or everything. We have to be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
There much more are killed by that. We dealt with the SARS, we dealt with that. We'll deal with this too. I'm sure when I say we, I mean the scientists and the different people who are following it. It's to their benefit, to the benefit of their people in the different countries. They have gotten together. They're entomologists going on this thing. They're all the great biologists and gathered together. They're protecting their own lives and the other people around them. And this is how things go. We created a vaccine, Dr. Saar, for the polio. We did those things, smallpox long ago, many things, measles vaccines. We will conquer this with the good Lord's help. That's why He give us the brains and the stuff to go to universities and learn things and deal with it even naturally. But it is good for us not to panic and to place our trust in people who have been appointed and have been made, in charge of this thing, rather than just jumping up and saying, "Oh my God, the sky is falling." It's not at all.
Well, if I may ask of you, I heard what you shared, and it's interesting because I think your initial comment about it not being any more deadly or dangerous than was perhaps our first initial media reports. But the Guardian, I think, had something on recently, and some other, reputable, credible newspapers as the weeks and months unfold. It may be statistically, when we look at those in the older age bracket or those who are perhaps more susceptible with respiratory illnesses, perhaps the incidence of it being fatal is higher. But you're right, we can't be defeatist and become too alarmed and then panic, right?
Older age bracket, Sterling.
Sir?
So I'm not going to let it work. Yes, I'm concerned and I pay attention and wash hands and scrub hands, something I've always done.
Right.
And you talk quite a far away from people. You know my job. I have to talk to people every day.
Yes, sir.
Many. But the thing is, we cannot let that so influence us that we're frightened, we can't do our jobs properly.
Right.
That is not being realistic. And I agree with that who called and talked about the thing with this AML, is that it?
The anti-money laundering.
I spoke about that this morning on Mr. O.C.'s show. I don't believe ordinary people should just jump up and be watching their neighbor to see whether they're driving a new BMW, 2 new Benzes, buying a $2 million house near to them. No, and watching a business and saying that guy can't make that kind of money. That business isn't doing any business, and go and report it. No, that should be left to professionals. And these guys who are earning the big money in the financial world, they should be concerned, and they should be paying to have it monitored and not leave all this on to the government, because they're making a lot of money. And they are the ones who are the experts at figuring out these things, whether that's legitimate or not. We can't do that. Ordinary people should never be trusted to do these things or rely on them to be a policeman, so to speak. No, we should not. There are people who are there for enforcing and finding these things out, tracking it down. It creates a lot of sort of pandemonium type of effect and the wrong kind of philosophy in my mind to say that I should be what.
Hello, sir? Wow. Maybe that string was...
Well,
are you there, sir?
I am, yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you very much for that. I don't know if you lost me or what. But
yeah, no, we heard most of what you said, and all of a sudden that. But
I don't think we should be involved in that.
Yes, sir.
Ordinary people, we ordinary, which is the vast majority of us, should be there checking on people to see if they are laundering money, if they're involved in terrorist financing. It's a very, very serious thing. I have a grandnephew who is with the U.S. Special Forces in Afghanistan. I have to be concerned.
Yes.
And so forth. But the reality is that we cannot do that. We went into this business voluntarily. Some members of the society, again, let me be specific, decided banking was a way to move forward instead of going turtling, building schooners, going with National Bulk, and the other ones, West India Lines, Swanee, and the ones up in Canada and so forth, and all the others. let us move towards this type of thing, and that's what has transpired over the last 58 years now. So we have to come to grips with it. And with that comes these modern things, modern roads, bridges, tunnels. These are the things that come about from that. We cannot stay the way we were. Whether, if you're asking me if I prefer to go back to 45 years ago, definitely. From me and for what Caymanians had then. But
yes, sir.
I'm old. That's not realistic.
Yes, sir.
Afternoon.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. And, as he champions the sentiments, thank you very, 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 very much. Enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy the weekend, sir. Let's see if we can take one final call. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, my good friend.
Hey, General. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm between good and excellent. However, I know time is not on my side, so I guess I better say what I got to say and get off, right?
No, man. You take your time, man. No, okay. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I listened to my good friend, the last caller that was calling in, and listen. He has a very good vision, especially in the past. Good memory. But you know what we have to consider. We have to come up now with what we call a reality check. Meaning, was in February, I think early in February when we had that 7.7 earthquake.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Was it January? Last Tuesday in January?
Was it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what we're talking about the virus thing, while we shouldn't panic, we will have these kind of things here very detrimental in the world. What I'm going to say right now is that, where we really fell down on our face, not just Cayman, worldwide, we forgot the supreme being, the good Lord Almighty. We've seen that earthquake. That is a warning, a reality check to let us know who's in charge. This virus that's going on, this is nothing to play with, not to preach doom and gloom or panic, no. But what I see in our little island here, people, they don't remember anything about God Almighty, the Creator. That's not a majority, I'm saying that, but too much to be comfortable that they couldn't care less. They don't want to hear anything about God. They don't want to hear anything. Just a good time 24/7. When it comes to our day, Sunday, they pile up everything and wait till Sunday to do what they have to do, except say, today's Sunday, I'm going to go to church or I'm going to stay home reading the Bible and just remember who is in charge of us. Give God a little credit. So when we see these things that come in here, don't be surprised because the worst is yet to come. Okay? So, again, we've got an economic boom now, yes, but I am not a prophet, but I'll tell you what, the handwriting is on the wall. When it falls this time, it's not going to be a pretty situation. I see it coming like a rain from a far distance. So I will advise anyone, take stock of what you got, spend with caution, do what you have to do because there is some rainy days coming in that is going to be what we were not expected to do. I went through that when Doucette was here, a lot of us, we know what it is. So this little boom that we got is nothing to get excited about. We better stop, take stock of what we got, cross all the T's and dot all the I's and take it from there because this cannot continue the way it's going.
So 7 years of plenty for 7 years of famine.
Thank you. So I'm not going to keep it any longer, but one day when you get time, we'll go and have a little cup of coffee someplace or, and we'll enjoy ourselves.
I would appreciate that, sir. I always get a chance to, be in the council of good men.
All right.
All the best, sir.
You too. Thank you.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great weekend. Have a great weekend. And to those of you who celebrated birthdays this week, Monday 2 friends did, yesterday and today others likewise celebrate. Even my uncle and someone else I feel close and dear to me, she celebrates hers as well with him. So he's passed on, but he's still remembered. If you're here in the land of living, make your days matter. Make it be that you are appreciative. You don't have to do cake and ice cream. You don't have to even do anything public. You just need to be, in my mind, appreciative that you've been able to enjoy another day. It may not be what you want, may not be able to embrace it fully, but pray that you can endure it and move on with intent that you want to make it better. I was reminded by a friend, she shared something that as a visual graphic, it struck me. Sometimes, you look at the image, hold on tight to that line, to that rope, and the hand is blooded. Sometimes it's better and easier to let go, but sometimes you got to endure that pain and hold on tight because that thing is worth it. Well, I believe through prayer and petition, sense of spiritual discernment, you'll be able to determine what is the best course of action for you. But stay the course. Ensure that what you're doing isn't just for the short-term gain, because that pain, as the caller just last shared, could be very real and very near. But if we can be of value, of service, and all things, find ways to be thankful, perhaps we can look at it, in a much more positive and productive way. Perhaps it is easier to find fault and to criticize. Perhaps we need to be more constructive and critically assess what is before us, not just for our own selfish gain, but for what may in fact be the greater good. So, if you're celebrating today, whether it's a birthday, as some have opted to do, well, blessings to you. If what is that song says? If you ever cross my mind again, what's that song? Miss Susan can sing it. There you go. Until Monday, be blessed.
After all that talk, sit back, relax. Easy listening on the way.